Hello everyone, I am back with another lesson today, and today's lesson is about verbs. So you all may be aware about the verbs. So let's learn like the more detail about the verbs today. So that there are four types of verbs. First is stative. We can call it stative verb, action verb, and then second is main or helping, which is called helping verb. We can call auxiliary verb also, and these are be, do, and have. And modal verbs, for example, can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must. And regular and irregular verb, intransitive and intransitive verb. So, uh, so the verb. So first of all, we need to know what verb is. What is a verb? So verb is a word that shows an action or a state. So that is a verb. So what is a verb? Verb is a word that shows an action or a state. That is a verb. And we will learn for the first type of verbs, which is state verb and action verb. So what is the difference between both of them? Like what, for example, we have state verb and action verb here. So we must know the difference. What is the difference between state verb and an action verb? So let's first about action verb. So action verb expresses physical activities. So whatever the verb shows physical activities or process is called action verb. And there are some examples about the action verb. For example, kick. So when we kick something, then it shows a physical activity in it. And shout, when we shout, then there is a physical activity or a process. Run, when we run, there is lots of physical activities, entire body works in it. Climb, we spend lots of energy and we uh, move one place to another place. Stand, sit, and grow. So these are the examples, certain examples of action verb, and these shows physical activities. So the verb which shows physical activities is called an action verb. Now the state verb. So state verb expresses a situation. Situation means being state of a being. For example, be, have, think, like, on, etc. So the difference, the basic difference or the simple difference between action verb and state verb is state verb doesn't show a physical activities. There is no physical activities involved in a state verb. Can you see any physical activity in think? Like you are sitting on one place and just you are thinking, but you are not moving here and there, and there is no physical movement in it. So the verb which does not have any physical activities, those verbs called state verbs. And state verb shows expresses a situation or shows a situation. So why is this difference is important? Why should we learn this difference? Uh, so before we go to the difference, we will take some examples about the states and state verbs. So for example, I have a large family. So I have a large family. Here, can you see any physical activity in this verb or in any movement over here? No, it's a state. Have is a state verb which shows a situation. For example, my family is being big and big every day. Yeah. So new family members are including in it. That is why I have a large family. Another sentence, Jyoti likes chocolate ice cream. Can you see any physical activity? So the verb is here, likes. Can you see any physical activity in where Jyoti likes ice cream or chocolate ice cream? So there is no physical activities in this sentence. That is why like is a state verb. And if we take one more example about an action verb, for example, if you say Dinesh kicked the ball. So what is the verb over here? Kicked. Kicked is the verb here. Yeah. And in kicked, you see the physical activity. When you kick something, then you may run a little bit, or you walk and then you use your leg and hit or kick something, and then the object moves from one place to another place. So you see the physical activity. So this is the difference between action verb and a state verb. And why this difference is important? Why do we need to learn this difference? Yeah. So there is an important rule in English grammar, that is state verbs cannot be used in ing form. What does that mean? Means we cannot use ing forms with state verbs, but we can use ing forms with action verbs. So let's take some examples. So the first example is the children are playing in the park. So what is the verb here? Playing. Playing is the main verb and are is helping verb. So what the children are doing, they are playing, and in play there are lots of physical activities involved in it. Another sentence is who is shouting. So someone is shouting, which means a physical activity. But I am having a large family. And another sentence, Jyoti is liking a chocolate ice cream. So these first two sentences are correct because we can see the physical activity involved over here, and this one is also correct. But these two sentences are totally incorrect because we do not use ing or continuous form with state verbs. So the second one is main verb, helping verb. Helping verb is auxiliary verb also, and the most important helping verbs are be, do, and have. And we will learn about modal verbs. So modals are like can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, and must. These are all the modal verbs. So let's talk about main and helping verbs. What is main and helping verbs? So the verb can be used in a two ways. The verb can be used in two ways in a sentence. So what are the two ways? So first one is main verb, and helping verb. So these are the two ways. Like both of them can come together. So we'll take one example. Loveless is working now. This is a sentence. And what is the main verb in this sentence? Working. Working is the main verb in this sentence. And what is a helping verb over here. Helping verb. So what does a helping verb do in a sentence? So basically, this verb, this main verb is we use for continuous tense, and continuous could be like present continuous, past continuous, or future continuous. For all of the tenses, we use working, working, working. But this helping verb shows the tense. So is we use for present tense. But instead of using is, if we write was here, then it's past tense. Loveless was working, and we don't use now with past tense, yeah, because now is present tense. So what does helping verb doing here? What is helping verb doing here? Helping verb is showing the tense. This is the tense. And helping verb also we use it in negative sentences and interrogative sentences. Negative sentences, for example, if I write Loveless is not working now, so now the is negative. And if I say is Loveless working now, so what is helping verb doing here? Helping verb is asking a question in this sentence. And again, is helping verb we use for present tense. So this is what helping verb. Let's take another helping verb also, like do. So do we use for negative and interrogative. So we'll take one negative sentence here. I don't play football. So do is helping verb here, and again do we use for present tense. Yes, we have visited US 4 times. So in this sentence also two verbs. What is the main verb? Visited is the main verb, and have is helping verb. Yeah. So have is helping verb, but in some sentences or in certain situations, have is a main verb also. We use it as a main verb. So we will take that example also. So we have visited US 4 times. If I say this sentence, we visited US last year. So this sentence shows we visited only one time, but this sentence is showing more than one time, which means this have is expressing a life experience. Like in your life, you have visited US many times. So here, have is showing, have is using, being used for helping verb and also showing a life experience. And in other sentence, we have a car. What is the verb in this sentence? Have is the verb. And is it a helping verb or a main verb? Have is a main verb. Why main verb? Because this car. So have is showing here own. Means you are having, like you own something, or you, this car is a property of yours. That is why have is main verb over here. So in certain sentences, have is a main verb. For example, if we say this is a book, so there is no any physical activity or physical movement. So is the main verb in that sentence. So now we will learn about modals. Modals. What does modals do? What is the modal uses of modals in a sentence? So modals help us to express the mood in a sentence. What is a mood? Mood means attitude of a speaker. Like what is the attitude of a speaker? For example, showing certainty, possibility, ability, or giving an advice, and asking for permission. So these are the type of moods in a sentence. So to show that, we use modal verbs with the main verb. Example: Rajasthan Royals might win the IPL this year. So Rajasthan Royals. If we change this sentence, if we write this sentence like this: Rajasthan Royals wins the IPL this year. So what is the difference between both of them? So this sentence shows 100% certainty the Rajasthan Royal win the IPL this year. But when we use might, which means we are not 100% sure that Rajasthan Royal will win, but we are sure, like we there is the possibilities of Rajasthan Royals to win the IPL this year. And what could be the percentage? It could be like 70%. We think 70% Rajasthan Royals will win the IPL this year. So what is might showing here? Might is showing the possibilities. 70% possible that Rajasthan Royals will win. Like other example, models can also express ability, possibility. For example, my sister can climb the tree. So can is modal verb over here, and this can is showing the ability. And now the third one is regular and irregular verbs. So basically, to learn about regular and irregular verbs, we need to look into the background information of English, and that is the only verbs can have tenses. For example, we have three tenses: present tense, past tense, and future tense. So verb only shows which tense is this. If the verb is in present form, that is present tense. The verb is in past form, that is past tense, and the verb is in past participle form, then it shows the past participle or the perfect tense or the yes. So we have changed the form of verbs according to the tense. So if you change a sentence into different tense, for example, there is a sentence in present tense, and you want to change it into past, then you have to change the form of the verb, and rest of the sentence stays remains same. Same if you want to change it into future tense, then you need to use will as a modal verb to for the future tense. So this is how we change the form of the verbs. So now we will learn the type of the form of the, like what kind, like how many forms of the verbs we have. So there are five forms of the verbs. One first is infinitive, or we can call it base form. The second one is present form, which is we call first form, V1, and the second one is past form, which is we call V2, and the last one is past participle, we call it V3, and the last one is ing. This is we only use for continuous tense. But this form, past participle, we only use with certain tense conditional sentences, and in passive voice. When you change a sentence into passive voice, then we use past participle form. So let's take an example about regular and irregular verb, like how regular and irregular verb are different to each other. So first we will take an example. This is to cook. This is a base form, and cook and cooks are present form. Why two different forms in present? Because cook we use with first person, second person, but cooks we use with he, she, and it, which means third person. For example, I cook, you cook, but with cooks, she cooks, he cooks, yeah, or Aslam cooks. So that is why we use different verbs here. And cooked for past tense and past participle is cooked. So what do you see over here in both of the tense, both of the verbs? We added ed with the main verb, and past tense and past participle verbs are both same, which means if a verb added with ed in the end, that is a regular verb, or regular verb always have ed in the end, and past tense and past participle forms are similar. For example, we will take more example. Walk is a verb. This is main verb, and if we add ed, walk and walk. So this is past tense and this is past participle. For example, talk, T-A-L-K, talk. Then the past tense would be T-A-L-K-E-D, talk, and the past participle will be T-A-L-K-E-D, talk. So you see, past tense and past participle both are similar. So that is called regular verb, or we can say the verb which has ed in the end, which means it's regular verb. Yeah. Now take another example. To go and goes. Again, go for first person and second person, and goes for third person. He, she, it, and name. Went is past tense. Have you ever heard God? No. God is not a verb. God is a noun, right? So what is the past tense of go? This is went, and past participle is gone, and going is continuous form. So this go is an irregular verb because this does not end with ed in past and past participle form. Means the verb which does not end with ed in past and past participle form is irregular verb. Next sentence. Next we will take to be. Yeah. So the main verb is to be, and present form is and are, which we mostly use with helping verb also, but sometimes we use as a main verb when a sentence does not have any action in it. Yes, was verb is past tense, being is past participle, and being is continuous tense, continuous form. To read, yeah, to read is main verb, read and reads are present form. Now this verb is slightly different. So the spelling is same, but the pronunciation changes in both of the tenses. This sounds like red, R-E-D, red, the color, yeah. But the spelling is R-E-A-D, read. But we don't say it read because the past tense is red. Spelling is R-E-A-D, but the pronunciation is red, and in past participle also red. And then and same we can take more examples. Hit. So this verb does not change in any tense, and also this verb does not change the pronunciation. Only the read is the verb which changes pronunciation with past and past participles. For example, cut, put. So the problem is, how do we recognize the tense with irregular verbs? If a verb does not change, then how do we recognize which tense it is? Well, this is very difficult, and we cannot recognize. We can only recognize by keep practicing regularly or through our experience. Now the last and fourth type of verb is transitive and intransitive verbs. So what is the transitive and intransitive verbs? These verbs are very easy but very, very important. So let's learn about transitive verb. So transitive verb always take an object. Object means the noun or the pronoun in a sentence which receives the action, that is called a transitive verb. And like these are the transitive verbs: hit, give, carry, climb, make, kiss. These are all the transitive verbs. So let's understand what is the meaning of taking an action, like object taking an action. So there is an example. Dinesh hit the wall. So the wall is object here, and this object is receiving this action. So when you hit the wall, so who is taking the action? The wall is taking the action. The wall is receiving the action, and the subject is doing. So that when the object is receivers of an action, that is called that action is called transitive verb. So that now, and also when you ask questions what or who and you get answer about from them, then that is called transitive verb. For example, Dinesh hit what? The wall. Yeah, she kissed me. This is another example. So she kissed who? She kissed me. So who receives the action here? Object receives the action. Yeah, and intransitive verbs does not take an object. So in with intransitive verb there is no object needed. And intransitive verbs are live, die, laugh, cry, run, sleep, and many more intransitive verbs. Example: the old man laughed loudly. And can you find an object over here? Can is any object receiving the action in this sentence? No, there is no object in this sentence. So without object, the verb without object, that it means intransitive verb, and the verb with an object, and the object is receiving the action, that is called transitive verb. And what kind of common mistakes we make while we use transitive and intransitive verbs? So always remember one thing: most of the time we leave out the object after a transitive verb, which means when we write a sentence, we don't mention the object, or we don't write object with the transitive verb, which is a common mistake we always do. Example: let's take an example. The thief climbed and then escaped. So the thief climbed. So something is missing here. Can you identify the error? So there should be, or there must be, an object over here, because the climb is an action which is which is being received by an object. So the correct sentence would be: the thief climbed over the wall and then escaped. Yes. So climbed is an action, and it is who receives this action? The wall. So yeah. So this is how we use transitive and intransitive verb.